Welcome back everyone. So we left on a little bit of a cliffhanger last time in that I'd glued up my neck blank. As you can see, this is what happens when polyurethane glue cures. It foams up when it comes into contact with moisture, and it was looking like that on the other side, but I've kind of roughly scraped it off with a chisel just so you can see there what it looks like. Now if I'd actually managed to get both of these outside edges married up, then I would just be able to go down the centre with a chisel and take all of that off, but unfortunately I think they're off by about half a mil, maybe a mil at the most. So once again I'm just going to quickly run this through the bandsaw to get the edges all nicely married up. We need to be really careful because we're already getting a little bit on the thin side compared to what we should have, so I'm just going to take off the absolute minimum amount possible. Alright, so that has taken most of it off, but I need to go just a little bit further. Yep, that's great. Just need to do the other side now. So now you can see what it looks like once it's been through the saw. It has left some slight saw marks, but they're really not deep, they're entirely superficial. You can just get those off with some sandpaper. So I think I'll stick freehand on the camera for a second. Here you can see I've got a view of the rear of the neck, and if I lay the blank over it, you can see it covers it quite nicely. The actual width of the neck at the widest point, or rather the width of the blank, is exactly 84mm, and it just so happens the width of the neck at the widest point is 84mm as well. I'd like to say I planned that, but that was just lucky, to be honest. The real problem we have though is the side profile of the neck. If I place the blank over once again, and what I'm trying to do here is line the blank up with the fretboard, there's a tiny little bit of the back of the headstock still protruding out the bottom. Now there's a few ways I could deal with that. I could add some more wood onto the blank to make it thicker. I could alter the angle of the headstock. Or, well, they're pretty much the only options really. And I think I'm going to be going with altering the angle of the headstock. So I'm going to need both hands free again. So our neck blank is consistently 37mm all the way through. So if I measure from the base of where the fretboard is, .37mm, and draw a line from that. That shows us where our cut-off point is. Sorry if the footage is a little choppy, guys. I seem to be having some trouble with my camera. I keep cutting out. Yeah, so what I did was I identified the point at which the headstock angle pivots, if you like, measured the length of the headstock, and then all I did was literally rotate the rule around until it's inside of that line that we drew previously, drew a line along there, and that's the back angle of our new headstock. The protractor suggests, what does it suggest? It suggests that's an angle of a little over 10 degrees. And if we mimic the original thickness, which is 19 mil, no it's not, 14 mil, looks good. So as you can see, I've just blackened the lines a little bit more there with ink so that I can tell which are the lines I'm following. Next, we actually want to get this made into a template. Right, so I've cut out the side profile of the neck, and I found this scrap piece of wood which I've already tested with a straight edge. It does have a perfectly straight edge along this face, so I'm going to try and glue to that edge. Leave that to dry for a bit. So, sorry if the video has been a little bit bitty, but I've been having problems with my camera turning off and shutting down, etc. Well, what did we do last? Okay, so we got the rough neck piece side profile template put together. Obviously it looks a bit messy because of the permanent marker, but it's okay. It's not perfectly straight. You can see there's a little bit of waviness to those lines, but this is not a routing template or anything like that. This is just to give me a reference point. So I've got that. Then what I've done is I've used the front profile plan and used it to mark out the location of the nut and also the end. It's not actually the end of the fretboard, just about the end of the fretboard. The end of the neck back is where that is. Then I've taken out this fretboard that I cut a little while ago and just used that to check. So the first slot here is not actually the first fret, that is where the nut would be, or where the end of the fretboard would be. So if I line that up with where the nut's going to sit, you can see we've got the dodgy 22nd fret, that's making me want to redo this fretboard, and then the end of the neck piece, just there. So if you imagine you'd have the little bit of rounding on the end of the fretboard, that would just fit in nicely with the end of the neck. So the scale looks correct, and also if I put the neck template in the same place, so that would actually start sloping away after the nut. You can see that comes along to the same place at the end there. One thing I don't think I mentioned so far with this neck blank is it's not perfect. I don't know if you can pick it up, but this side is literally 1 mil thicker, measuring from the centre line, than this side, which isn't really a problem, but I need to make sure that when I route out the channel for the truss rod, I use the far side to gauge my centre line. I mean, technically I could probably use either side, but I'm going to stick with the thinnest side for my measurements. So I think we're going to pick this back up next time by routing out that truss rod channel, and then we'll look at putting the slope on the headstock end of the neck. Till next time, goodbye.